Okay, let's talk about how I made Turn It and Twist. Here is our session. You will notice that it is titled Sweat Me Out because that was the working title when we wrote it with Mike McGarity, who was the guy who worked with us on Lemon Drop and a couple of our other first singles years ago. And I just never changed the title because I didn't want to start a new session. This song is a bit less delicate than the rest of the songs on Bloom. The idea was to turn it into a big barroom sing-along, and so it's still very intentional, but there are no string arrangements, and there's different, I suppose, chamber pop elements in it, but no orchestral arrangement. You can see, here's what we've got. We've got an accordion. We've got two accordions. I used just a VST accordion, but then I used my own accordion and just was playing some roots to get some real delicious live sound in there. And then there's also a trumpet, tenor banjo, mandolin, acoustic guitar, violin, and a bunch of claps and stomps and shakers and drums, obviously. Whenever I can, I like to use real instruments rather than VSTs, but I don't have a dozen pianos, so I was able to find a really solid VST from Piano Tech, and I'm going to play it for you here because I think it really fits with the overall vibe of Turn It and Twist. When that's soloed, you can kind of hear that it's not fully in tune. So what I did with every instrument on this one was I tried to get them as out of tune as possible without actually making the song sound weird. Because, I'm thinking we're in a bar, we have just whatever instruments we have on hand, and nothing is going to be perfectly in time or in tune. Speaking of in time, another thing that I did with this one was, this is going to be hard to show or maybe even really hear, but you can kind of feel it. When you're producing, you quantize everything. You make sure that the instruments are all on a grid, so they're all in time with each other. But as this song goes on, and especially in the last big gang vocal chorus, there is sort of an off-the-rails feeling. So what I did is I just kind of unquantized or stopped quantizing everything. So these drums are kind of they're no longer exactly in time. The guitar, the mandolin, the banjo, the keys, all of it is just kind of a couple takes and spliced together in a way where it still works. But I liked the idea of, again, you're at a bar, so it's not going to be perfect, and especially by the end, you kind of do go off the rails. So, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll play the soloed, the banjo. So I got a tenor banjo, which is it's often used in Irish music. It's just got 4 strings rather than the typical 5. And I'll play this for you. And by itself, it kind of sounds terrible, but that's kind of what I wanted. And I'll play that with the rest of the acoustic instruments, and you can kind of hear how the overtones from them all being a little bit not in tune work pretty well. So that was fun to do. In general, always I'm very, very particular about every single note and beat and velocity and everything. But with this one, I stayed a little bit away from that, and I played the piano just kind of like slamming on it. And then I would adjust some notes in MIDI if I screwed anything up. And had Joe play the guitar, kind of just hard. So you can hear there's almost a percussive element just to the guitar itself. I love auxiliary percussion. I just can't get enough of it. So I also added 2 different shakers, a tambourine, and then the stomps and claps you would expect from a barroom sing-along. And then with the drums, which are very roomy and sort of spacey, again, to capture that ambience. And then, of course, the vocal harmonies. With this one, for the choruses, I just, at first, did only the 3 vocal parts, Mark, Joe, and myself.
Are you gonna keep heaping coals on my head, hoping that the heat takes its toll in the end? And I can never tell if it's worth your while, but I'll take it in the neck. Is it over yet?
Then we get to the bridge, which might be my favorite part, maybe. And I added a 4th vocal track. I sang another harmony part, and I'll solo those and play those real quick here.
If you leave before I wake up in the morning, I'll see you in hell by tonight. Blistered and burning and twisted and turning all your words till I'm sure that I'm right.
This song was very fun to record, in no small part due to the gang vocals. So what we did is, again, to really drive home the theme of the bar, the pub, we got a bunch of our friends and family to come to a bar in North Dakota and had them. I just set up a microphone like on the stage they had, and people showed up, and I printed out the lyrics, and I told them sing it as sort of badly as you can. And there were a lot of takes that didn't work because everyone was singing too well. And so I said, just act like you've had a couple drinks. It's the end of the night. Sing it worse. And so we finally got there. So I'll solo just those.
Are you gonna keep heaping coals on my head, hoping that the heat takes its toll in the end? And I can never tell if it's worth your while, but I'll take it in the neck. Is it over yet? I'm just gonna sweat this out.
And in the mix, again, a little bit out of tune, sometimes a lot of out of tune, but that's what you would expect from a song like this, and that's how it sounds. And the final little treat is I also recorded like 10 minutes of just bar ambience when everyone was there, and just to get some atmosphere. Very boring to listen to on its own, but it adds what I wanted to add. As always, there's a lot more to say, but I will keep this at whatever length it is right now and talk about another one later. Thanks for watching.